Alright everybody, I just wanted to show you a little video and show some of the high waters we had from a 6.5-inch rain that hit us here in central Kansas. And I was going over to the farm. I don't know if anybody saw that fish right there, but I was heading over to the farm to check it out, and I was getting ready to plant corn in this field, and to get to it we have this low water crossing, and a bunch of this water silted in a bunch of mud, and wasn't able to get across it with the planter tractor. I got across it with the 4-wheel drive to work it, but later on, but I had to get the old cable dozer out to clean it out. So here's and my dad found this Dozer on a ad, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, and he'd always wanted to clear out some thorn trees and trim up along the edge of our properties and stuff. Just build a dike, flood dike around the house and all that. And we had went up to look at this Dozer, and it was up by Randolph, Kansas, sitting out in a guy's pasture, and he said the engine was stuck or was knocking, I think is what it was. Well, we ended up finding out that he tried to pull start it with a big huge tree shear when one of the cylinders was stuck, and turned I think it was the number 1 or number 4 connecting rod into a rainbow, and pushed it up against the cylinder liner and the block and broke the lip off the cylinder liner, and where it dumped all the antifreeze into the crankcase. And we ended up finding a guy with a used block for pretty reasonable, because he said he'd never sell a block. And I took it all apart and put it back together basically with a few new parts and worked the heads, and we used it to push out a whole bunch of great big thorn trees and put a flood dike around the house. And we often get floodwaters around this area, but it's pretty neat to run something that's that old, being like in 1951 I believe. But you don't have the greatest power in the world, but it sure beats a rubber tired loader tractor. Running that Dozer is a little bit of a hot job. I knew the loader tractor wasn't gonna get any traction in that kind of slime, especially after seeing how this thing didn't want to get the traction. But I need to give her a bath. That's only just from a little bit of seepage, just a little bit. Only story I know of is it might have been county Dozer for somewhere around Topeka, Kansas, but it was rough. These joints here, there's a lot of gap between those pins that the blade pushes on. There's a lot of, you could tell it had pushed some rocks and stuff. It got really used pretty hard. I mean, you can see this grill they've re-welded that, and there's a hole in there, and the skid plate underneath just kind of had some angle iron welded on it to actually give it a place to bolt back on. Somebody had removed the pony motor one time, and instead of jockeying that end out of there when they take it out, because I've had it out before, but they torched this out to get it out. Welded it back in at least, but only issue I have now with it is it seeps water around the water pump, and I cannot get that big nut loose to put some new packing behind there. The way you put your pipe wrench on there, you can't get it under to loosen. It's only to tighten where you can get a good grip on it.
but you're supposed to tighten that whenever it starts seeping. But the pony motor gives me heck. I just had to put this line on here. The tank is really rusty inside, and it plugs up that line, and then I can't get gas to the pony motor. But I've put bearings in the pony motor and reworked the valves. Well, I've had the whole engine out of this thing and apart. I put one new cylinder in it, new rings, new bearings, all that good stuff. We didn't put new injectors in it. It needs one or two because it's slightly hard to start. But it's a hot job. Got cable goes up over these pulleys and down around it. Goes up that pipe right there. It goes around the block and tackle, I would say, pulley system on the front. I lift the blade, but anyway. Just thought I'd show some of you guys this old dozer. I know I used it a couple years ago and made a video, but never really did show too much. The only bad thing about drone videos is you can't hear it. So I tried to show a little bit through my cell phone so you guys can hear it. But anyway, park it under the apple trees. That way when the apples get ripe we can climb up on it and pick apples.